Alright, so I'm about to piss a few people off today, but I don't care. I just remembered a post about a therapist who was helping a guy out. It was a female therapist. They're helping this guy out. And this guy comes in and takes her hostage and rapes her, right? And then holds her hostage. And this is his therapist slash counselor. I don't know why this guy got locked up, or I don't know what his issue is, right? So the issue here now is you have people who are literally trying to get away with rape. And I'm not talking about women, right? It's one thing if a woman rapes you, it's another thing when a man rapes you. Now, I'm not saying that a woman raping you is better or worse than a man raping you. I'm not saying any of that, right? What I'm saying is, based on the way men are raised, right? They're raised to pursue women. And because they're raised to pursue women based on the Bible, right? And or whatever their religion is, what ends up happening is men tend to be more physically powerful than women, right? So it doesn't matter how, what a woman can do per se. If he can physically overpower her, he can do pretty much what he wants to her body, right? So when you have, this is why my whole thing for women was, if you're interested in a guy, you need to be the one who approaches him. You can't sit back and wait for guys to approach you and then you just go with the guy, right? You have to you have to actually approach the guy, right? And let them know, hey, I'm actually interested in you, right? Or I'm interested to see where this could go, where this could lead. When as a woman you're afraid to do that, what ends up happening is you're sitting back waiting on men to approach you, and you're waiting for the right man to approach you. And this is why a lot of women don't end up in any type of, loving relationship these days, because they're constantly sitting back waiting for men to approach them. And then when the men do approach them, most of the times they just like, oh, okay. They're oblivious to it. So right now, the issue here is the whole snitching thing. Because if you know something that's going on and you know somebody's being raped or somebody that got raped, right? But like you can't say anything, because if you say anything, now they're gonna say you snitching. That's the problem. And I'm looking at Maya, and I'm wondering if that's what she's going through based on the music she's making, but I can't tell, right? Because she shows up one day and she shows up with a doctor, and then the next time she shows up with this other dude, right? But it seemed like, she was either afraid or she was being, mind fucked into doing something. Somebody's fucking with her head. You know what I mean? You already had, some people that were saying stuff about, oh, you know what's gonna happen? Two people are gonna approach you, and one of them's gonna have a knife or something, and they're gonna stab you. Right? I don't know who they were talking to, but apparently Maya said she had a stalker. So I'm putting all this together, and I just remembered this post this morning. I just remembered that Facebook post where that therapist was getting raped by that guy. I'm willing to bet that that's what's going on right now. I don't know who it's going on to, but I'm listening to the stuff Teal Swan is talking about. I don't know if it's her that's going through it. I don't know. I don't know who's going through it. All I know is it's happening, and the only reason it's not changing is because people are afraid of this whole snitching thing. So if you're a girl and you get raped, right, and you tell a guy about that, a guy is more likely to flip the fuck out, right? But when women, prey on men, it's a different story. As a guy, I would much rather a woman try to prey on me than for me trying to prey on her, only because I don't ever want that woman to turn around and say, well, you're the one that approached me. You're the one that chased me. You're the one that was following me, right? And I know saying all that, is gonna ruffle a few feathers. But you know what? I'm gonna be outside today. You got a problem with what I said? You know where to find me, right? All I know is the people who are responsible for the fuckery that I've had to deal with. They know who they are because they keep talking shit, and they think I'm afraid to fuck them up, and I'm not. I'm just trying to be civil, especially you being a black man. You being a black man, and then you act, and then you try to be funny about the shit, and it's like, nah, nigga, that shit ain't funny. And then you try to lump me in with you, like I was doing the shit you was doing, nigga. I wasn't doing none of the shit you was doing. I don't know what the fuck you be talking about. So, and then the shit you was trying to lump me in with is the type of shit that was getting me fucked, like get me fucked over in the first place. Now I got people monitoring my crib, watching to see who comes to my crib, who leaves, so on and so forth. You don't want the same thing to happen to you, so you try to stay ahead of it and you try to focus on me. Now the focus is going to be on you. Now we're going to watch everything that you're doing. I'm not going to watch what you're doing, because if I saw anything that you was doing and it pisses me off, I'm probably going to want to kill you. That's the type of guy I am. So it's probably better I don't see what the fuck you was doing. Like I said, y'all got less than 72 hours. You got less than, like, you got about like 48 hours, a little more than that, right? And it's not me. It's gonna be the people who realize what the fuck is going on, and they're gonna be like, oh, words, you trying to implicate me in that shit, and that's what's gonna start a whole bunch of shit. So, good morning, guys.